Now, the chairman of the Technical Committee of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, Agyekumhene, says the depreciation of the Cedi will not have any impact on utility, much impact on utility tariff for 2019. Speaking on the sidelines of an event organized by the PURC to present to the utility companies a template of what should go into the computation of their tariff proposals for 2019 major tariff review, Mr. Agyekumhene stated that although the currency is key, other determining factors will influence the changes or the charges for the coming year.
Quite. Let's take this scenario, assuming the dollar depreciates, okay, but we end up generating more from hydro in 2019. It means that tariffs needn't go up, okay. Another scenario, we are able to change all the light plants that are running on light crude, all of them switch to gas. It means the cost of production is either going to reduce or stay the same. So a number of things come to play. Of course, currency is key because they collect the money in cedis and they will have to even make payments in dollars and pay the IPPs in dollars. So it's in our collective interest that the Cedi behaves. But the Cedi will not be the only determining factor. But at the moment, you just heard that we are asking them to bring their proposal. So we all don't know what is going to happen. So the 9th is when we would have done all our analysis and would have formed an opinion, 9 December. But in terms of when it becomes public, everybody knows because prior announcement will have to be given. And we are looking at latest by the end of the year, 2018. We're going to keep you in the loop. Once we know, we will let you know. And ultimately, it will come in our announcements, okay? The public hearings are going to take place. The media will be actively involved. So let's leave it at that.
Or can we leave it at that? Not when we don't know when we're expected to be paying next year. Let's see if we can get some answers from the PRC. Let's get on the lines now. We speak to the chairman of the technical committee again. Mr. Agyekumhene, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Now, let me find out from you. We're seeing words like not much impacts. And from what you said, needn't go up, etc. Exactly what are we to expect of tariffs next year?
Good afternoon to your viewers and your listeners. At this stage, we don't know, but the process has started today, and we will get a sense of where the direction is going to be leading once we've received the proposals and we've done the preliminary analysis. So, and then everything put together, we would know what we call the revenue requirement, and that would determine the tariffs. Ultimately, we also need information on total production, electricity that's supposed to be generated in 2019 and beyond, and then we'll come up with a tariff. But at this stage, it's just too early to even hazard a guess.
So what happened today was that you provided the utility companies with a template as to how they should compute the tariffs. Is this correct?
Yes, a template that we would love for them to use in submitting their proposal, their financial proposals.
Okay.
They've been submitting those proposals, but they are free to use whatever template they like. But to ensure consistency and also to make sure that we don't do a lot of toing and froing, we expect that they're going to provide, we've told them every piece of information that we need, because otherwise we'll be going backwards and forward. So that template to be a standard template that we want to be using in terms of when they are providing information on their costs and also their financial.
What's in this template?
It's nothing new. It's essentially what they have in their budget, okay? But this time around, instead of just bringing us maybe hard copies, it's an Excel. It's an Excel model that allows one to very quickly check the figures and things like that, rather than receiving hard copies so that we go through, and it's a little bit tedious doing that.
Okay.
But this time around, we've given them this template, which is essentially an Excel model that also computes certain ratios for us once you input the figures based on your expected generation and things like that. So it's a simple spreadsheet that we want them to use so that we all get the information that we get.
Okay, but with the uncertainty around for example, the sort of words that have been used so far, it appears that we'll be paying a bit more.
Say that again.
With the sort of uncertainties around, the discussion, based on the words that are being used, like I indicated earlier, not much impact. It needn't go up. It appears that, looking especially at the performance of the city so far, it appears that we may be paying a little more.
Not just the city, but also ultimately, you see, I explained also that, for example, even if the macroeconomic indicators are not too favorable, but the hydrology in the Akosombo and Pond dams are good enough so that we do a lot more hydro. It might even cross out the impact of what the city would have done, the depreciation. So at this stage, there are too many unknowns. So, but so that we don't send any wrong signals out there, I would say that let's exercise a little bit more restraint. As we speak right now, you cannot just base your projections only on the Cedi dollar exchange rate. Yes, it's a key factor.
It's a key factor.
But if, for example, you have more gas than maybe light crude or more hydro than thermal, you probably don't need tariffs wouldn't have to go up, because then the cost of production would have come down.
And given that these times are hard and everybody, including the president, admits to it, we certainly don't want to hear of tariffs that are going up. But you're expecting to get the proposals from these utility companies. You said on the 9th of which month?
Well, we need the proposals. We're keeping it up to the end of this month. That's 31st is when we expect them to file their proposal.
Okay.
And then we would take a look at it, be sure that they've complied with the template, and we got all the information we needed, and then whether it's a yes or no, we will get back to them. But if it's a yes, then the process begins.
The process begins. So help us with an understanding, finally, an understanding of how the process really is like. So at the point where, at the end of this month, you're expected to receive their proposals. Once that is done, what's next, and when do we get to know the fate?
Then it's up to the PURC, that the technical committee that I chair will be meeting with the utilities for them to even explain their proposals further. That's once we've accepted that. And then we would look at the merit and the merit of whatever they are asking for, and determine what is allowable, what is not allowable. It's a standard tariff review process that we're going to go through, except that we have given ourselves some clear indications as to the timelines that we want to have, and everything that we put in that template or in the roadmap is based on the PURC Act.
Okay.
So we are bound to take a decision within 30 days after we've accepted the proposal.
Okay.
So within that period, that's the period that we'll be doing the consultations, so the public consultation with all key stakeholders.
Okay.
And then ultimately by the 9th of December, if we accepted everything by the 9th of November, we should have formed an opinion as to the tariff. And then the rest will be when we do the announcement and when it's supposed to take place.
Okay. I did say that was my final question, but I need to chip this in quickly. Is this in the what you gave them, the template that you gave them, is it different from the ATAF, the automatic tariff adjustment formula? Am I mixing things up here?
There's a full tariff review there. We have the AFA, AAF, which essentially looks at certain key parameters, i.e. the exchange rate, the cost of fuel. Those are the two main things, to see whether the movement warrants any adjustments in the tariff on a quarterly basis. Okay. But this is a full proposal that we are asking from them, because this is going to be for the period 2019 to 2021.
Okay.
That's the tariff that will be approved. So it's a major tariff review.
Yeah,
that
looks like. Looks like. Well, we'll be here to keep our eyes on the timelines that you've provided. 9th of December, we should know whether or not we're paying more or perhaps less.
You won't hear whether you are paying more or less by 9th December.
We won't?
internally we would have known where the direction the tariff is going, and then the announcement will be up to the commission.
Very well. We'll still be keeping our eyes on the timelines. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Ishmael Agyekumhene there heads the technical committee of the PURC. So we'll keep our eyes on it, get to know whether or not we'll pay more or less. Hopefully, I'm sure you're thinking we should pay less. Will that even happen?